Thank you, sir, for sharing your thoughts about teaching and learning law in a higher education institution. Our next speaker is going to be Hafiz Muhammad Usman Nawaz Sahib, who is going to present on quality legal education through mooting and appraisal. Thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Due to shortage of time, I will spare only 8 to 10 minutes. And starting from this next slide. Actually, the concept of mooting, to what extent that concept is helpful for imparting quality legal education. If we see, there were two eras. The first one, when it was said in 19th century that the life of the law has not been logic, it has been experience. But now in 20th century, in the last century, the concept was changed. The new concept was introduced, and the concept was logic is the life blood of American law. Actually, that debate actually was between American lawyers and judges. The first approach was logic has nothing to do with law, but now approach is logic is everything in law. And when we see this concept, then we will go towards 1973 film, the paper Chase. And in this film, the specific words of Professor Kingsfield, he says that you teach yourself the law. If I come to class and I say to the students, please read section 1, section 2, section 3, and then afterwards explain some points, and I go out of the class, then I did nothing in the class. The actual problem, the actual thing, what I must do in class, that the words of Professor Kingsfield, he says that I train your minds. The actually training is an important element which must be present in legal education. And the second one, he says, you come in here with a skull full of mush, and if you survive, you will leave thinking like a lawyer. It means, Malcolm Fox said, he says that the purpose of education is to replace an empty mind with an open one. And if we have been successful in creating this thing, then we are imparting quality legal education. And when we talk about American law, in America after 1973 film, a debate was started that there must be appreciation of legal education, legal profession, and we should try to fill the gaps between law schools and law profession. And for that purpose, a task force was formed, and the report of task force is known as McGrath report, and that was published in 1992. In 1992, it was said that certain skills are required for becoming a successful lawyer, and those skills are problem solving, legal analysis, legal research, factual investigation, investigating facts, communication skills, counseling, etc. And when we talk about mooting, the process of mooting, and we see all these elements, they are present in a single activity known as mooting. All these elements. And when we define mooting, I'm not here to define mooting, but the only some words that this is a simulated court proceedings, and two basic elements, two basic things which we may say that two basic essentials of mooting. The first one, drafting memorials, and when you draft memorial, it means your language must be improved, your language must be good. The second one, you must have sufficient knowledge of law, because when you have a group of facts, and you must know the law which is applicable to those facts. And the last one, from where you have to derive that law. What are different databases? From where do you have to derive the law? Therefore, the first issue, the first thing, drafting memorials. And if you are involved in mooting, because I have seen many of students who are involved in mooting, they are third year students, fourth year students, but they have sufficient knowledge of procedural laws which they have not studied yet, but they have sufficient knowledge just due to involvement of mooting activities. Similarly, second important thing and essential of mooting is participation in oral arguments, and that is necessary for becoming a successful lawyer. If we move on, please next slides. Why mooting is necessary for law students? We may see different important factors. The first one, mooting provides real court room environment. And when we present a case in moot, it means we got confidence. And the second important point, it builds your confidence. And the third one, to practice arguments and develop your legal skills. And last but not the least, when judges ask questions from the mooters, and when, for example, I have memorized certain points, and if anyone interrupts, perhaps I would not be able to recall my memory. But if you are practicing, you are involving yourself in moot activity during your law studies, it means you will practice answering the questions during your speech in moot, during your arguments in moot. Therefore, that is another benefit, advantage of participation in moots. And the next one, if we see, these are some other advantages of moots, and the foremost and the most important fact about mooting is practical application of what you learn in the classroom. Because it is said that think like a lawyer, and when we think like a lawyer, when we apply the law on certain facts, and when we have certain facts and we have no capability to apply the law, it means we cannot become a good lawyer, or we are not thinking like a lawyer. Similarly, structuring and presenting the content in eloquent and forceful way enhance your CV, improves your communication and advocacy skill, etc. But in most of the law schools, mooting is considered a fun activity. Generally, it is said that this is a wastage of time. Please don't indulge yourself in mooting activity, because it has nothing to do with your professional career. Yes, it is true that for teachers, mooting will not be helpful to get promotions, but that is very much helpful for students. When students get involved in mooting, it means they are knowing law, they are knowing the procedures, they are knowing the facts, they are knowing everything which they must know about law, about procedure. And at the end, if we see that how quality legal education is possible through mooting, as Professor Dr. Muhammad Asim Wal has rightly said that practice-ready law graduates. Nowadays, practice-ready law graduates are required in the market. Therefore, if we didn't incorporate these things like mooting activity in our syllabus, and that must be in a very proactive way, because now HEC has designed new curriculum and a new subject, moot cases and professional ethics course. That is the part of each and every law school syllabus. But to what extent we are applying that specific scheme for law students to enhance their legal skills and to enhance their legal skills. And at the end, I would say, and I would share the remarks of winner of a moot competition of a law school. He says that I participated in law moots, and law moots helped me in my midterm exams, because when you participate in moots, you will check different case laws, you will check what are the facts of the case, what are different issues, and all these things. And when you will appear in exam, you will use those cases, you will use that specific technique, and that specific technique will help you to enhance your legal skills. And the last one, not only for midterms, that when you start your legal career, legal profession, you will be aware of all the procedures which must be in your knowledge. Jazakallah.